What's up, Shuvu teens? It's Pastor Matt. Yeah, it's a spatula. This week our Torah portion is called Vaera, and it's very interesting. This is the first part of the plagues that we have. This week and next week, we're talking about the 10 plagues that God visits upon Egypt. Now, there's something that is interesting that happens even before the plagues. One of the signs that God gives is that Aaron throws his staff down and it turns into a snake. Now, the Egyptian magicians, they also throw their staffs down. They turn into snakes, but then it says that Moses' staff ate the other snakes. Now, something that's really cool is that in the Hebrew, the word that is used is the word for staff, not snake, when Moses' staff eats the other snakes, which means, according to the Jewish interpretation, it's not that Aaron's staff turned back into a snake and ate the other snakes, but rather that his staff, this piece of wood, ate the snakes. That's something that only God can do. That's a very interesting thing. The other thing I wanted to point out to us this week is that the plagues are not like pranks that God is playing on the Egyptians. You know, some of us when we're younger, we like to do silly things. We like to pull pranks. Now, I guess there's nothing wrong with doing something that's an innocent prank, but if you're really trying to hurt someone's feelings or make fun of them or do something that could hurt them, let me advise you not to be involved in that type of pranking. But in our society and online, there are lots of trends where people play pranks on people. That's not what's happening here. God isn't playing pranks on the Egyptians. He's making judgments against the Egyptian gods. You see, every plague is against one of Egypt's idols, against one of their gods. So what God is doing is actually passing judgment upon false idols. The Nile that turned to blood, they worshipped the Nile. The plague of frogs, they actually had a frog-headed god. So all of the plagues are judgments against false gods. We need to be making sure that in our lives we don't have idols, that we're worshiping the one true God, that we're giving him the credit. Because he does have a judgmental and vengeful attitude against false idols. Remember, God doesn't say, don't worship these things because they're fake, but rather he says, worship me because I am the one true God. So this week for Shabbat, let's make sure that we are worshiping God, that we're giving him our full attention, that we're not being distracted by other things. And it may be some bad news for you if you wake up and there's a bunch of frogs in your bed. I hope that doesn't happen, but that's what the Bible says happened to Pharaoh. Even in his bed were a bunch of frogs. Kind of creepy. This is Pastor Matt, out.